Hunger. Oh, sorry. Welcome back to Call for Help. I'm Leo Laporte. Rick sent us an email with an interesting question. He says, I have a CD recorder and I think it needs cleaning. Why? Because my games are kind of sluggish. How do I clean it? Well, first of all, it's probably not because your recorder is dirty. There's a distinctive sound when you can't read a CD. You can actually hear the drive going, trying to reread the same area, and it will be repetitive. It will happen a few times. Plus, you'll start getting those blue screens that say, can't read the CD, what's going on? If that hasn't happened to you, it's probably not that you're having a problem with your drive. Also, make sure your CDs are clean and they don't have big scratches on them and stuff. But if it happens with a variety of CDs, you're always having trouble reading, maybe the drive is getting blue screen a lot, maybe it is dirty. There's a lot of dust and stuff blowing through the air. It could be the drive actually has accumulated some dust and stuff. Now people say, oh, well, all I got to do is get my trusty alcohol and my Q-tips or get some canned air and we'll be all set. You can even go to the store and buy these big CD cleaning kits for like 30 bucks. Is that a good thing to do or not? We thought we'd go across the street and ask Nadelman. He is our local PC repair guy. Come on in here, Mike. How you doing? Good to see you.
Hi, Leo. How are you?
Welcome back to Call for Help. Mike, you work at Advanced Computer Solutions in San Francisco, am I right?
That's right.
And it's literally across the street. We have brought stuff over to you. And do you repair CD-ROMs? Does this come up?
We usually try and talk people out of it, but...
Why is that? Why do you talk them out of it?
Because you can replace a CD-ROM drive now for a couple $100.
Yeah.
We charge $94 for an hour's worth of work.
It almost makes sense to get just to replace
Yeah,
it.
but if it's something real special, if it's a special CD-ROM, something you really like,
right.
And you bend our arm, we'll do it. Now,
we're going to do something that it says specifically not to do. It says, danger, invisible laser radiation when open and interlock failure. It says, don't open this, it says. But we're going to do it anyway.
And you know what? It opens very easy. This one has had like 4 screws.
Mike, you're famous for doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing. So, folks, I just want to say what Mike is doing right now, don't do yourself. Have a trained technician do it because he knows what he's doing. He knows how not to blind himself. And do you take any precautions, Mike, when you're doing this?
You know, I make sure that it's not pointed right at me.
Okay.
Best thing.
Trained professionals, ladies and gentlemen.
We're going to try not to point this at the camera.
What is it? Is this a laser in here?
This is the...
Right there is the little eye.
The laser eye. This is the hub. In this case, they use a real small one, which may account for the fact that this failed.
Yeah, this rubber ring here is what holds the CD and spins it around. Is that what you're saying?
Right, and it only holds it against this piece of plastic, which is not very much of a holder.
Okay, so this was an actual CD recorder that failed.
It failed, and I think it's probably going to work at this point.
You think we could fix it? All right, well, what did you do first to fix it?
First thing is when we opened it, we found a lot of dust in there.
So you blew it out?
We used duster. Now, at home, you can open the tray and you can stick this in.
It's kind of hard to get in there, isn't it?
It is, but if you use a nozzle like this, that's good.
Okay.
One thing I must caution you about is turning it upside down because you will get
See that white stuff coming out? Okay.
Yeah, and
that's condensed.
It'll also cause burns on your finger.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you just got air coming out.
Yeah, and pump it. Don't do a long, steady stream.
Long, steady stream will promote more of that vapor to come out.
Condensation. And you don't want any moisture in there.
That's right.
So this might blow the dust out. If you're lucky, it might kind of like zap the dust out of there.
If you're lucky, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
if that doesn't work, now what?
If that doesn't work and you brought it to us,
right,
we would open it like this, and of course, we turn it on.
Oh, he's powering it up. Oh, man, you're not supposed to do that. Do not, kids, do not do this at home. You
might burn your hand,
right? Burn your hand. No, they're not that.
We actually have a little tester here, which is available at Radio Shack, and it's got a little, looks like a Band-Aid strip there that activates, and it turns red when there's actually laser beam present.
You're using this thing to see if there's actually any beam coming out of the laser. So that's the first thing to do, is test this infrared sensor, and this can't be too expensive. It's just a little piece of plastic. So test the beam. Do you use these cleaning? You have some cleaning supplies here. What is, for instance, this is a goof off. What do you use goof off for?
Goof off would actually be used on this rubber hub here. And
that's holding the CD.
Yeah, you use a little Q-tip and you'd wipe that down, and what it'll do is it'll
it's a little solvent, right?
It smells awful too.
Oh, well, maybe we
you don't want to get that on plastic, but you want to keep it off the plastic, but you can get it on the rubber part, and it'll help the grip on the CD.
So if this got any grease on it or any stuff on it that's keeping the CD from working well, oh, there you go. You would clean this off.
Yeah.
All right. That's one.
You want to check the mechanical.
What's this
functions.
stuff? This is Floyal.
Yeah, that's actually a silicone grease, and
No, actually, it has a nice fresh lemony scent. What would you do with that?
There's a couple of rails in here.
Besides dabbing it behind the ears.
These rails.
Yeah.
Will actually.
So we're gonna lubricate these rails here with the Floyle.
Yeah.
Is this the actuator motor? Is the head is moving along on this?
The motor actually drives, the stepper motor actually drives the lens back and forth.
And then you have this dissolve it. What is the dissolve it for?
Dissolve it is used for, say for example, you got a label from your label maker, you put it on your CD and it got caught inside.
That happens with floppies all the time. It peels off.
This
so
will not, it won't harm plastic.
Okay. But you can get the solvent to dissolve the glue on the labels.
Exactly, and then it peels right off.
So these are the kinds of supplies you'd use, but again, this isn't something you should be doing at home unless you're willing to risk blindness from the laser, which we don't recommend, and chances are, unless you really know what you're doing, you're going to mess it up.
We found this one extremely dusty.
Yeah, so maybe that fixed it.
And maybe that fixed it.
All right.
We don't know yet.
Here's what you can do. Nadelman says buy a new one. In most cases, you're going to be better off. Hey, thanks for coming in, Mike. I appreciate that. That's good. Nadelman said, this is what happens if you have your laser misadjusted. That's a CD. Actually, you cook that in a convection oven. And that raises a point. Kids, Nadelman does things no human should do, like open up those things and look at them. Put the CDs in the convection oven. And I want to emphasize, if you've got canned air, don't have canned air fights. Dangerous. Don't try this at home. Right, right. Now it's time. Everybody hop in the pool, because it's time for our lightning round.